Welcome to the 30 Goals Challenge for Educators. My name is Shelly Terrell, and today's goal is to build an ideal classroom culture. And today's quote comes from John Finley. Education is the process by which the individual relates himself to the universe, gives himself citizenship in the changing world, shares the race's mind, and enfranchises his own soul. When we think about a classroom culture, this relates to one of our earliest goals, which was to define what we believe learning is. And when we begin to think of classroom culture, we want to make sure that the culture that we establish in our classroom reflects what our education philosophy is and what we believe that learning is. Part of this classroom culture is to think about what impacts our classroom. It's the class environment, the setup, the types of activities that we have for students to be able to recognize the rules in the classroom and how we deal with those rules and implementing those rules, but also what the students bring into the classroom. Each classroom will have its own specific classroom culture. And we are the facilitators. We decide what kind of culture that is. We have problems today with things like bullying in schools. And part of that is because we don't take an effective or active approach to building an ideal classroom culture. For each of us, an ideal classroom culture is quite different. There are some things we'll agree on. We'll agree that students should get along, that students should be able to have an environment where they're free to learn and explore. It enhances motivation. It teaches them about digital citizenship. So there are many things that we can agree on about classroom culture. But one of the things that we should do first is, first of all, we have to define classroom culture for ourselves. And a day where you're just observing. It's just by observing the behavior of the students in the classroom. Look inside your classroom, see how the kids get along, see if they're friends with each other, if they have those chances to bond with each other, if they support each other. And then you can tell a lot about the classroom culture. And if it's not what you believe is an ideal classroom culture, then begin to think of the elements that make up your classroom culture and how you can change those elements. And that's your long-term goal, is to begin making changes so that way you can begin to develop a classroom culture that encompasses or encapsulates what you believe learning is about. And it could be things such as safety. Do the students in your classroom feel safe? Do they have strong relationships with each other? Do they consider themselves as friends? Today's shout out goes to Mr. Schneider, who recently joined the 30 Goals Challenge and wrote an incredible post. You should check it out. I believe it's Dalmatia2nd on Twitter. And he posts a video of this amazing project that started off with a child's idea of wanting to do a book club. And the parents and him got together, and the student, and they figured out a way to make a very innovative lesson plan for reading, where they created different dresses for this book. And he has a video, and he gives you a look at what his students created. So I really encourage you to go check that out, and there will be a link to that post.